Shall we begin?
Welcome to the Happy MonsterCast. I'm your host, Scott Marchand Davis of Happy Monster Press.
Let's begin now.
This week on the Happy MonsterCast, the Ghost Wardens participate in a tournament of champions with the fate of the Empire possibly at stake. This podcast contains adult language and adult situations. Previously on the Happy MonsterCast. Ghost Mountain, the isolated temple where the unruly dead return to their proper place in hell. Meet the Ghost Wardens, holy warriors dedicated to the service of the underworld kings, battling the undead and laying them to rest. Here, Bolt Fist Jiao, master of music sorcery, Cheerful Fan, who smiles through his sorrow, Ebullient Gong Gou, dog devil and fire sorcerer, Sneaky Chao, silent assassin, and Jung Soo, ox devil blade master, stand ready to return the unruly dead to hell. The Ghost Wardens have preserved Ghost Mountain. Now they must return to the Empire to discover what plots surround the Emperor and the inevitable army. Let's recap. You have successfully defended Ghost Mountain against an army of the undead led by Lightning Lao. And shortly after you did, you saw another vision in the Mirror of Ever-Present Sight, a vision of an undead army marching on Capital City, and of advisors to the Emperor asking him to make allies with other powerful forces from hell besides the underworld kings that you serve. So things are pretty messed up. If you choose to go to the Emperor's aid, you have two options. You can fight your way through the West Gate, which is held by Lightning's brother Thunder, but you only have about 100 troops to do that with, and he's got 250 and fortifications. The other option is to take the Cloud Road to the south end of the Shield Mountains and then head north. This will definitely take longer, but you don't have to punch your way through an army to do it. Alternatively, you could take some time to rest and recover before, or head in any other direction you want to go. What would you like to do?
How badly injured are we? I mean, do we really need the rest?
Well, thankfully, Abbot Moo survived the battle, and he is a master healer, so I believe you are all patched up at this point. I'm double checking that, but yeah, looks like you are all at full strength at this point.
That's a really good question.
Yeah,
what do you guys think we should do?
So if we do take a week, though, we still have the same two choices again at the end of the week.
Yes, unless you discover something over the course of that week. And one of the things that you could do in your week is spend some downtime. And during your downtime, one of the things you could do is do some espionage.
Or seek out other routes, as it were, along the way.
That might give you additional
fancy.
That might give you additional information about something to do.
Tactical stealth and information gathering.
Right. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Perhaps some corporate thievery, dare I say it.
Other options for spending your downtime, you could carouse, which would allow you to get favors from the locals. Of course, there aren't that many locals left. You could center, which gives you conviction. You could fortify Ghost Mountain in case it's attacked again.
Ooh.
You could research a new power, which you could use temporarily. Or you could train a specific skill or trait to allow you to do a reroll as a free action whenever you fail it for the duration of the current encounter. Critical fails don't count, though. If you crit, you're stuck. But if you just fail, you can reroll. So, what would you like to do? Do you want to head for the capital or take some time out, knowing that the inevitable army is on the march and will likely be that much closer to the capital? Right now, they are about here in the woodlands, headed for Storm Harbor, and then they'll move up the Great Road much more quickly to the capital.
So the long way around goes south by the Shield Mountains, correct?
Yes, you'd come out around here. Or sorry, there's a pass down here near Blue Serpent Mountain, and then you could move up to Capital City. This you'd probably go across the fragrant fields and cut up the Great Road rather than cut through the woodlands and risk encountering the enemy army. You could also go the long way around north by Venture Fields. That's probably even more of a detour than you really want to do.
Through here?
Yeah, you could basically go up from, so you're going to come out down here. So you could cut across to Storm Harbor and then head up the Great Road, or you could go up north to Venture Fields and come to Capital City that way. Cutting through diagonally risks running into the inevitable army.
I mean, we're here right now at Ghost Mountain, right?
Right, but if you want to go that way, you have to get through West Gate, which is held by 250 undead led by Lightning Lao. And you only have 100 troops to your name. And of course, he's in the fortifications this time.
But going north up here, is there a pass?
No, the Blade Mountains are impassable north of the West Gate.
So we want to go to Capital City because, I mean, if they're holding that West Gate, what's preventing, as soon as we leave, them from attacking Ghost Mountain again?
Well, you'd leave your 100 troops there, and in that case, you'd be in the fortifications. And you saw Lightning Lao was ordered to hold West Gate to prevent anyone from coming through. So he's probably under orders to stay put.
So we want to get to Capital City to warn them?
Defend them, right?
Defend them. Also, maybe figure out what this whole deal is with the Emperor's advisors making deals with powers of hell. That's not so good. That probably won't end well.
No.
I feel like going south here through the Shield Mountains and then just cutting as fast as we can across the woodlands to intercept them on the way up to the capital city. I think that's probably our best bet.
Well, intercepting the army with 5 of you and several thousand of them, probably not the best plan.
No.
It sounds like
we
whatever
have the element of surprise. That's true.
Right. Can we sabotage or slow them down or sort of like debuff or screw up their stuff, aka KKK tuba rally them?
It would be tough to do with only 5 of you versus this large a force.
Right.
It's high risk at a minimum.
Okay.
And not necessarily a lot of potential reward.
Okay.
So the quickest way there, like the actual from distance wise, would be going through the West Gate, Venture Fields to Capital City.
Yeah, recapturing the West Gate and then going through Venture Fields to Capital City. That whole thing would only take about 10 days. Whereas it's going to take about 20 days to go the long way around.
Oh, yucky.
I'm sorry, say that again. 7 days versus 20 days?
10 days versus 20 days. 10 days if you punch through the West Gate, assuming you can. 20 days going through the Shield Mountains.
And to punch through the West Gate, it would be us 5.
And the 100 troops left at Ghost Mountain.
Unless we were to try and punch through stealthily through the West Gate.
Not feasible to get through with the army. The 5 of you might be able to climb the mountains around it and work your way around. But on the other side, you wouldn't have any horses.
Right, but is there any way we could commando, go in through the mountains, like maybe take the north side, the south side of the West Gate, each sneak in on each side and like take out all the guards on top and then lower the drawbridge, that kind of thing?
It's pretty heavily fortified and specifically designed to prevent that.
Okay. Darn.
So the 5 of you might be able to make it. around the gate, but taking any kind of force through the mountains is either going to be obvious or you're going to lose a bunch of them in the process.
Yeah, and we're too small a number to risk that, I think.
How long would it take us to get to Golden Fields? Or is there any towns or hamlets on the way that we can purchase horses?
There's some. You might be able to acquire horses if you sneak past.
That's what I'm thinking. That might be the quickest route.
But it's dangerous. You might not make it through unscathed.
Very dangerous.
Well, we could always split the party.
That's also very dangerous.
That always works so well.
That's great. The last time.
That's wisdom right there.
I love this plan.
Look at my permanent injuries.
Can we use the other 100 soldiers as a diversion to like tie up the army that's guarding the West Gate and give us a somewhat clearer path to slip past them?
You really don't need that if there's only the 5 of you, and it's more the danger of scaling the mountains and that's potentially falls and injuries.
I think not using the 100 troops is a good idea. I think once we leave here, they are all that's left between scary dead zombie guys and the Ghost Gate that we're really supposed to be protecting, because screw the Emperor.
Right.
He's a living dude. We don't care about him so much as we care about what he's doing. But
yeah, I think the goal here is to try to get to the Emperor and then find out what's going on over there. Maybe nip this whole thing in the bud.
Agreed.
So do you want to try to sneak around Westgate?
I think that's the fastest, most direct thing to do.
If we sneak around Westgate and we don't have the horses, is it going to take the same amount of time as it would if we went the long way?
Depends on how long it takes you to find horses when you get to the other side. It might cost you a few days, maybe more.
Well, can we just bring along money and buy horses?
You can.
I mean, I made a mistake of the honest here, but
yeah. In fact, Abbot Moo is hearing of your mission and knowing that you are in danger. Also, as a reward for protecting the temple, he grants you each 500 silver.
Okay.
Nice.
So he's given us an adventuring stipend. That's
pretty much, yeah. Well, partly for travel, partly to try to keep you in one piece.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it's wartime, so obviously horses are going to be, precious and scarce and all that, but we should be able to fix them up.
How much is a horse? Like regularly?
Well, 510 silver pieces.
Yeah. Well, some of you have some leftover silver from the beginning, so you're not completely broke.
No.
A standard riding horse in normal times will set you back about 75 silver. If you want a war horse, they're more expensive and probably nearly impossible to come by.
All right. Well,
of course, Knives can't ride a horse anyway, so this is a non-problem for Knives.
That's right. I'm as fast as you guys on a horse anyway.
I don't have riding either.
Right. This is a setting where riding is what you need to do something fancy on a horse. Just transportation horse, you automatically have that skill.
It's like driving a car.
All right, good.
Yeah, it's like driving a car in our setting. You're assumed to be able to drive a car. If you want to be able to drift or do fancy thing, bootleg or reverses, then you need a driving skill.
Okay. Well, so with that in mind, then we don't need fancy war horses, because some of us, myself included, would not really be able to use a war horse to its fullest extent anyway.
Correct.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, let's just slip past the gate and we'll get horses as quickly as we can. And can the abbot give us a letter of, I don't know, like a blessing or an indulgence that we can give to whoever we get the horses from to help seal the deal?
Yeah, he can do that. So he gives you each one. And then you head for the west gate.
What am I going to do with this?
Don't eat it.
I'll tell you when we get there.
I'll hold on to it for you.
Too late.
So it takes you a couple days to get to the west gate, but they're uneventful. And then you scale the mountains to the south to work your way around the fortifications. I would like you all to make athletics rolls, please.
All right. This is not my...
That would be the necessary skill for climbing mountains.
best.
Sneaky's very good at this. Sneaky, you get a +2 on yours because of your light body ability. Yeah, you're fine. Cheerful's fine.
Oh, I'm clumsy. This is going to be interesting.
I'm
How many
Bolt
bennies
Fist.
do I have?
Bolt Fist is not fine.
Oh, I'm going to benny that.
Can we be helping each other here, Scott? Those of us that made our roles.
Ebullient is fine.
Assisting
I'm assuming you are helping each other. So
okay.
Bolt Fist is going to be injured unless he bennies that roll.
Oh,
that's good. That's good enough, though. You almost fall on the descent, but you make it down, and it takes you a couple of days to find a merchant willing to sell you horses. And they literally cost double what they used to. So you're each set back 150 silver. But
I'd like to use persuasion to try and talk him down.
Okay.
For you, 400.
Oh, not.
No, you're able to get it for 300 with that roll.
Nice.
I will do the same thing. I'm going to give persuasion.
I'm sorry, not for 300. You're able to get it for 100.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I can give you more than 75. The last price I saw was 75, so this is still more than that. Crotchety, cheap old man math.
Let's see how your D4 does.
Yeah, exactly.
Not so good.
No.
Scott, did you see my roll?
Yes, I did. So I've debited you accordingly.
All right.
And
great.
as you ride east towards Venture Fields, you start hearing some rumors. It appears that there's a big event happening soon at Stone Wheel here.
How big is it?
What kind of event?
Apparently, there is a gathering of the Valiant Societies.
Is there can I make a common knowledge roll, see if I know who they are?
Yes, you can. And yes, you do. You might even know quite a bit about them if you are ebullient. Whoa. So, the Valiant Societies are basically a loose association of martial clans. Some of them are martial arts schools, some of them are clans, some of them are organizations of various sorts. But they all are intense practitioners of the martial sciences. They are not bound to the emperor.
Oh.
They don't always follow the laws of the land. They right wrongs and dispense justice on a case-by-case basis, and their core values are integrity and prowess. Many of them... Yeah.
So I take it the event is not the Kumite.
Well, you'll have to see when you get there. Many of them have deep feuds, long-standing rivalries. And so the idea that they're all gathering in one place is pretty interesting.
So it might be the Kumite.
And so when you arrive in Stone Wheel, you see a ton of fighters eating meals, sharing drinks, chatting on the streets. Clearly, there's something major happening. What would you like to do?
My vote would be to continue to push on, only because we're kind of pressed for time.
Agreed.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh, Ghost Wardens.
What are you all doing here?
Oh, Ghost Wardens.
Oh my God.
Yes, we are.
We of the societies have gathered here in Stone Wheel to choose a leader. One singular leader who will lead all the valiant societies to either marshal their strength against this army of the undead, or absolve us from participating in the war entirely. There is, of course, only one method to choose this leader. Battle.
What's
Please be
that?
combat. Please be combat.
And as we all know, that method is
That is combat. The combat will begin tomorrow.
Ooh, me.
However, only the best fighters are encouraged to participate. These matches are potentially deadly.
How much time do we have before the army arrives at the capital?
At this point, your best estimate is that it's still a few to several months away from arriving at the capital.
Okay. And how far are we?
Slowly. You are days away from the capital.
So we have time to stop and smell the roses, more or less.
Yes. If you would like to do some networking using either persuasion or intimidation, depending on whether you're doing it the easy way or the hard way, if you're doing persuasion, spreading a little money around will also be helpful. You may be able to find out some information about the participants.
I will do that.
Okay, so are you Sneaky? Are you laying out any cash for this purpose?
Yeah, I'll lay out some cash for that.
So you currently have 450 silver. How much do you want to lay out?
50.
Okay. And I'm going to see how everybody else does too, the other participants.
Right.
How about Cheerful? You laying out any cash?
I am.
How much are you going to put? How much are you going to put out?
Woo! Look at that roll. Look at that roll. I am going to lay out.
You also have 450.
I'm going to do 100.
Okay. So spreading some good cheer in the bars and getting some information. Nobody else really needs to bother because Cheerful is going to get all the tea on these guys.
Nice.
A D4, I wouldn't have been helpful.
So there are 4 masters participating, including one you know. Apparently, Master Tempest Duan also worked his way around the West Gate and has come to fight. In addition to Tempest Duan, there are 3 other masters fighting. So Tempest, you know, is very much an unarmed fighter, and he's known for his mobility and for his swift attacks and counterattacks. A well-known unarmed fighter.
Kind of like a monk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's Ice Palm Killer.
Good name.
Also an unarmed fighter, but he has mastered certain death touch techniques. In addition to damaging you when he hits you, he can also distract you or make you vulnerable. Then there's Sword Saint Wong, who, guess what he uses?
Large feet.
He is known for his lightning fast interception of incoming attacks. And last but not least, Thunder Whip Yin. And she is known for her
sword too?
No, she's known for her whip.
What?
Which can strike not only in close proximity, but also at significant range. So these are your opponents. Which of you would care to participate, if any, in this tournament?
Scott, I'm going to have to bow out. I have something I have to go do real quick.
No worries.
All right.
Me.
Yeah, I figured Knives was in. Is anyone else going to participate in the tournament? The tournament.
I don't know that I could not do it.
This is a full contact tournament.
Yeah. I don't think I could not do it.
With potential for serious damage.
Right.
It is possible to submit, but there are only 3 ways to lose the match: surrender, get knocked off the stone wheel or submit, or you are incapacitated. Those are the only ways to end a match. If you spend your last Benny to soak, that basically means that the opponent has landed a killing blow but stopped at the last second, and that's a situation in which it's considered honorable to surrender. But you don't have to.
I'm in.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so Cheerful, Knives, anyone else going to fight?
Nope.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Probably best not to put the healer into this combat situation either.
As a rule.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what the matchups are. All right, the first match is going to be Tempest Duan versus Ice Palm Killer. The second match, now we're doing D4s, is going to be Cheerful versus Sword Saint Wong. And the third match will be, therefore, Thunder Whip versus Knives. So you watch the first match, and it is brutal. Tempest Duan puts up a hell of a fight, but in the end, Ice Palm Killer prevails. Next up will be Cheerful versus Sword Saint.
All right. So this the patterned area is the stone.
Is the stone wheel. Yes. Okay. There's a large pillar in the center.
Okay.
If you go outside the ring, you're out. However, there are spectators. You might be able to make an athletics roll to spring off of a spectator back into the fight.
Okay. Well, okay.
That's an interesting move.
All right.
Hajime. Sword Saint goes first. So Sword Saint is going to move up and then he is going to activate his speed power. And he is also going to take the defend action. Cheerful.
Okay. I am going to run up to here. And then while running, as part of that run, I'm going to use the push action and shove him off the platform.
You probably won't be able to shove him all the way off, but you might be able to move him to the edge.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me your strength roll.
There you go.
Are you happy with an 8?
I am.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Does defend help with that? No, it does not. So the first thing that happens as you close into range to push him is that he hits you with his sword.
Oh, well, these things happen.
Since he has improved first strike.
So do I have to be in contact with him?
Sorry, I'm going to target.
I stopped a space away.
Yes, you have to be in contact with him to push him.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't target you, so I'm going to do that again. Don't forget your emotion tokens, too. He actually doesn't hit you.
Nice.
So let's see how his strength roll goes. He's pretty strong. But not strong enough.
Aha!
He's not going to bother bennying that. You knock him back towards the edge of the platform. As you head into the next round of combat, you have initiative. You want to do it again?
That's exactly what I want to do. I want to do that again.
Okay, so once again, he's going to try to hit you with his sword as you come in.
Okay, I'll let him go, and then I'll do the push. Ouch! Ouch!
That's going to hit you with a raise. And that will shake you into 2 wounds. So you're going to need to soak both wounds if you want to be able to push him.
Okay. So I got 2 wounds. I want to soak them.
Oh, yeah.
All
there's your soak roll button in the chat. That'll soak 1.
All right.
You could, however, you can spend an emotion token here and force him to re-roll the whole attack.
That's a good idea. How do I spend the emotion token?
Just go on your character sheet under traits where it says additional stats. I'm going to reset yours to 3 and reduce that to 2.
Additional stats. Oh, I see. All right. All right. Yep, there it is.
So you're not shaken or wounded at this point. Using your mystical powers, you distract him. Whoops, only one of those counts. He hits you, but not with a raise this time.
Still kind of an owie.
That is 3 wounds.
No good. All right.
All right, and you can try to spend a penny to soak it if you want. I don't know that sorrow gives you any special powers to avoid damage, unfortunately.
No. All right. So I got 3 wounds.
Well, you can just try to soak the 3 wounds, so at least you don't have 3.
Right.
You'd have to get a really good vigor roll, but if you want to spend a penny to do it, you can.
All right. I will do that. Well. All right. Well, let's give it a try here.
All right.
Nope.
All right. So yeah, you're pretty messed up.
Okay. So with that being messed up, I am unable to use the push.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will just attack him with the dragon slaying sword.
Well, you declared the push and you're shaken. So two strikes against you on doing that.
All right.
Okay. So he is then going to hit you with his sword again. He whirls the sword around his head, strikes it at you, and amazingly does not manage to hit you.
Nice.
All right, new round. Initiative is going to be really important here. And he has it.
Bad.
That's only 1 hit. And it will be enough to incapacitate you, though. Do you want to... He stops it right at your throat. Do you want to surrender?
Yeah. I being wounded as I am, I don't really have any option. All right. Sorry.
All right, you're out of the fight.
Damn it.
Ebullient,
I had a plan. I had a concept of a plan.
Ebullient, would you care to flame on and patch him up?
Yes, please. It's only a flesh wound.
Okay, here comes Thunder Whip. So go ahead and give me a healing power there.
I'm sorry, I had mute on. Did you need me to roll or anything for that?
I do. I need you to do a spellcasting roll using healing to see how many of his wounds you can patch up.
All right, so just straight spellcasting to begin with?
Yeah. That will patch one of the three, unless you Benny it. You need an 8 to patch 2 of them, which is the most you can do.
We'll give it one more try.
You might need to patch up knives too, so, One it is. So you have 2 wounds now. Oh, not 4, 2.
All right. Well,
all right. Next fight. Thunder Whip versus Knives. Hajime. Knives is up first.
Wavering Blade.
Well, can you get there? You'll have to run to get there.
Okay. Do I need to cast speed?
That's true. If you cast speed on yourself, you don't need to run to get there, and that's free to do. Would you also like to include quickness for an extra 2 power points so that you can do 2 attacks per round?
Yes.
Ooh.
Wait, how do I do quickness?
It just automatically happens. You just spend the power points. So you now have the speed and quickness active, and you zoom over to get in this person's face. You can target them and wail on them.
Okay, I no longer see a map of any kind.
Oh, that's weird.
You're gonna. So I see my character sheet and the chat, and that's it. So if you could target them for me, that'd be great.
Targeted, yes.
Okay. I don't see
what?
die either. That's weird.
It is weird, but you hit him once and once with a raise.
Okay.
So the regular hit is enough to do 2 wounds, which he absolutely is going to try to soak. Oh, hang on, one at a time.
Oh, sorry.
He's going to try to soak that one, and he's going to try again to soak it. Oops, I keep spending your bennies. That's not right. What the heck is going on here? All right, I'm just going to do this manually. And first, I'm going to make sure you actually have your bennies, because I spent yours by accident. That was weird. Okay, so Thunder Whip. First attempt to soak. Unsuccessful. Second attempt to soak. Successful. So he soaks the 2 wounds. But then your second attack, he's got nothing to soak with. And so for the second attack, he is going to take the hit. And so he is wounded and shaken. Or she, rather, is wounded and shaken.
Yep.
Hey.
And since you did quickness, you can now do that again, although without frenzy. So just turn frenzy off before you roll.
How do I turn it off? I see it on the thing.
Click on it.
Yeah.
Then it should open up a dialog with a bunch of options.
Yep.
Then you can click it so it's not red anymore.
Ah, okay.
There you go. Those both miss unless... Oh, no, one of them hits. You're very good at this.
Why, yes, I am.
All right, so give me a regular damage roll. That's pathetic and does nothing.
Oh, Benny.
Bennying the damage. On the other hand,
Oof.
the 12 is enough to add on another wound. Thunderwhip's going to try to unshake here and fail. And Thunderwhip, looking down the barrel of knives, surrenders.
Nice.
Nice.
So Thunderwhip is out. Knives is unscathed. Goes to the winner's circle. Okay, so that leaves Ice Palm Killer. and Sword Saint Long and Knives for the next round. So in the random lottery, Ice Palm is going to fight. And Ice Palm's going to fight Knives.
Cool.
All right, let's go.
And Knives is up first again, so I'm guessing you're going to do the same powers thing as you did last time. Although
Indeed.
You'll only be able to do that once more. So do you want to do the speed and quickness? And
yes.
Okay, you won't have it for the final then.
Ooh.
I have these lasers.
You could just do quickness and still be able to do both for the final.
All right, let's just keep the quickness.
Okay, speed only, which still lets you zoom over and get in this person's face.
Mm-hmm.
They're targeted. Swing away. Oh, okay. 2 hits with raises. Let's do the first one. Wow, that's bad. That does nothing unless you Benny the damage.
You know what? I'm going to save it for the final, just in case.
So give me another raise damage.
Yep.
That, on the other hand, is more significant. That's going to shake him and do 2 wounds. Oh, no, it's armor piercing. That's 3 wounds. So he is absolutely going to try to soak that. That's good for 2 of them. That's what he's going to go with that. He's going to save a Benny too. So he's shaken and takes 1 wound. And then he's got to unshake, which he does not. But he does get to go first. So now he is unshaken.
Okay.
And he unleashes a flurry of unarmed attacks on you. One of which hits and one of which hits with a raise. So the raise damage is not pretty. That's going to incapacitate you unless you soak it.
Holy smokes. Okay, I'm rolling vigor.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Okay, that's going to soak 2 of the wounds. So you'd only have 2 wounds.
Let's leave it at that. Hey, Scott, I've still got the Bezoar. Can I toss it in if I need to in the middle of a fight?
The Bezoar pill?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could chuck you could do that in the middle of the fight.
All right, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have it now. I've got 2 wounds. He's got 1 wound, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens next round.
And it is your turn.
Yep.
He also speeds himself up. Woo, doggies. All right, so that's going to be 1 hit with a raise, and that's it. Yeah, the 6 does not hit. So give me raise damage. All right, so that's 3 wounds. You're absolutely going to try to soak. Oops. And he soaks 2, but he still takes another wound. So you're even honors at 2 wounds now.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's his turn.
Initiative could be very important here. No, it's your turn.
Oh, nice.
All right, so that's going to be 1 hit only. Go ahead and give me.
Isn't 14 a raise?
No, his parry is very high.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
so give me regular damage. Well, that helped. On the other hand, the 16 is going to give him 2 wounds, so he surrenders.
Hooray!
So, Ebullient, you're definitely going to want to do a little healing action on Knives here. Unless Knives, you want to pound, the Bazor at this point.
No, let's take a little healing.
Okay.
Can I also do my own treat wounds for try that? Treat myself for a wound.
So treating wounds takes a long time. You need to be healed up fast so you can get back in the ring.
Okay, fine.
While all this is happening, I also have treat wounds. So can I be treating myself?
Yes, that you can do. Give yourself it's going to be a healing roll. You're not very good at it.
Okay.
But you can try. And you might get lucky.
There you go.
Which you do.
All right.
So that's 1 less wound for you.
Nice.
Okay, so Ebullient, where was your spellcasting roll?
Coming right up.
All right, that will cure 1 of the wounds.
So I'm down to 1 wound.
Yes, you're down to 1 wound.
We're at the last round now.
You are.
Yeah.
Would you like me to hit you 1 more time and see what happens?
Yes, please.
You'd have to spend a Benny. You can't use the power more than once.
Where else are we going today?
That's right. Today, this is it. Bring it.
Okay, you can Benny that. Oh, yeah. Almost the 6, but no, that's not any better.
I got 1 more Benny.
I'd say save it.
Yeah, you might need it in the middle. We'll see.
All right.
Now you're fighting Sword Saint, and he does the same opening move that he did in the previous fight, where he moves up and then takes a defend action and activates his speed.
Okay, I have first strike, right?
Yes, that means if he approaches you,
you just took a defensive action, so not enough.
Yeah, he has to move in to attack you for your first strike to work.
Okay, fine.
All right, your move. Do you want to do the full activation power here?
Yes.
Okay, you're out of power points, but you can double attack this dude. However, he's going to attack you first because he's very good at. He also has first strike.
So my having it improved first strike doesn't help either.
No, he also has improved first strike, but he doesn't hit you. But he doesn't hit you anyway.
Nice.
So you now may attack him twice.
Ooh.
I have no idea what happened.
That's a hit with a raise. All right, that's going to do 3 wounds. So he is absolutely going to try to soak that.
Yeah.
Not with that roll, he's not. That one, on the other hand, soaks 1 of them. So he's at 2 wounds, having burned 2 bennies.
Nice.
Let's see how initiative goes this round. He's up first.
And with a 4.
Unless you want to spend a Benny to get a new card.
Okay, so if we both have improved first strike,
it doesn't matter because you're already in melee. Matter. However, you could spend one of your bennies to draw a new card, which would give you an excellent chance of going first since he has a 4.
Because he's only got a 4, yeah. All right, fine. It's like, blow it.
And you drew a Joker.
Whoa!
Cool. So that worked well.
Yeah.
All right, 2 attacks with the Joker. Go for it. All right. 1 hit with a raise. No, sorry, 1 straight hit. I don't know why it's showing you a raise on those. Because his parry is... Yeah, okay. Well, let's get your damage roll in there. But the 13 is enough to... The 15 is enough to seriously mess him up, and he surrenders. So, just as... everyone raises their acclaim for your successful victory, a figure casts off his cloak and leaps onto the stone drum. I challenge you, booms Thunder Lao in his undead form, whirling his meteor dart around his head.
Oh, boy.
That is where we are going to leave it for tonight.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
What a way to win.
Okay.
Your reward for winning the fight is more fighting.
Fighting.
Pretty much.
Night, everybody.
Nothing is impossible.
Exactly.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night,
you can follow Happy Monster Press on Facebook and Blue Sky as Happy Monster Press, on our website at happymonsterpress.com, on Twitter as Happy Monster PRS, or follow this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Like what you hear? Support us on Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/happymonsterpress. The Happy Monster Cast is part of the Savage Worlds Media Network. This podcast references the Savage Worlds game system available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at www.peginc.com. It is unofficial content permitted under the Media Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All other content is the intellectual property of Happy Monster Press. Music: Ice Cold by Jason Shaw, and Asian Drums by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.
Oh, for sure.